Well, hello everybody. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE. I'm here with Brandon.
Hello there.
And this week we're going to be talking about what? There's there we go. It feels better.
This feels better.
Everybody, Ryan's back. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good. I'm refreshed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I needed a sabbatical from these two.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Sure.
Well, welcome back. Any highlights from your trip? You want to tell the fine folks at home anything that you did that was fun? I saw that you went to maybe a record store or two.
We did, yeah.
While you were gone.
There are actually some pretty fun little record stores in Albuquerque, New Mexico, believe it or not. So did that. We did some trout fishing. Caught a lot of trout in Colorado.
Catch and release.
Trout sniffer.
Catch and release. Yeah. Not in season there, so. But yeah, it was fun. Saw some family. I missed you guys though.
Well, you missed Brandon. Let's be honest.
No, stop.
No. Well, no, you were missed too. We made a lot of excuses for it as to why you were gone. So
I know I caught up on the episodes. I heard them.
You got a lot of explaining to do. So I even chimed into Capecast in the comments of the night and explained.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. See, yeah. So it's good to have you back. Trios.
Good to be back.
Again. So lots happened while you were gone. Brandon is 100% on the Criterion train now. He
I heard this. Yeah.
Been watching him at his house, stuff like that. So it's Criterion month, so why not, right?
Who would have thought he'd be there without even seeing RoboCop?
I know.
It's not on Criterion, yeah.
They did release it on DVD.
I will watch it when it comes out on Criterion.
They did release it on DVD a long time ago, back in the day before Blu-ray. So they did release it. So it is available, just not on Blu-ray. So once upon a time, before they had spine numbers and such, RoboCop. I don't know. Maybe it had a spine number. I don't think it did though. But anyway, it was one of those titles that's really not a Criterion release. So, boy, lots is lots be happening. Lots of happening in the movie world. It's kind of nice that we actually have something to talk about every week now. So, thanks Hollywood
for coming back. It's nice.
Yeah. So, Brandon's
finally have a reason to do a movie show. It's now making sense.
Now we can stop fighting so much. But no, we got a million trailers. We got movie news. We got movies actually coming out. I know that we all have been watching stuff. It sounds like we all have some physical media, so on and so forth. But I think that we need to get started with some relatively weird news. This news is said, okay, it was reported by Ricky Gervais while he was on Michael Imperioli and Steve Sciarippa's podcast about The Sopranos, that at one point James Gandolfini was paid $3 million by HBO not to replace or to be the new boss on The Office.
That's some Sopranos hush money right there. That's what that is.
Yeah. So he got paid $3 million to not be on a show that he was never on. So that's a pretty good gig. It's pretty good.
So that would mean, you would think that would mean that it was a possibility of that happening if they were willing to shell out that amount of money.
I'll guarantee you he got off.
The route that
they paid him $3 million.
They ended up going with what's the guy's name from Ryan, the guy that did Ultron, did the voice of Ultron.
James Spader.
Spader.
James Spader. Yeah. And he was only on it for one season, but
Yeah.
I could see, as far as if the character was going to be the same as the Spader character, Robert California,
Mhm.
I could kind of see Gandolfini doing that. Not as like hypersexual though. Like, yeah, Spader's character was so like darkly sexual on that season of The Office. But maybe that would have been like playing against type for Gandolfini. Maybe that was the purpose of entertaining that idea. But
Yeah.
Was he? So I never watched the show all the way through. Was he the replacement for Michael Scott or Steve Carell? Okay.
Yeah. So I remember
one season, and then what's his face? I'm so bad with names. Andy. I don't know. Can't remember what his name is.
man.
Ed Helms.
Yeah, Ed Helms. He's from Atlanta.
Oh, that's cool.
So is what's the big guy's name on Kevin? That guy.
Kevin.
Yeah. Well,
On what? On the Office.
let's go into this story. So we're done with the Office story.
Jeez, guys, I've been gone for 2 weeks, and we just totally lost our whole flow here.
No, Kevin from The Office is also from Atlanta. Is what I was trying to say.
Kevin Malone is his character's name.
I think his name's
Don't know
Brian.
what his name is. It is Brian something.
But this is a compelling show.
Ortega.
Yeah, there we go. I'm sure that's it. Isn't he a baseball player? So,
Brian Baumgartner.
Baumgartner. That's a baseball player.
Henry Rosenberger.
Rosenfraser.
Rosenhoser.
So hang on, isn't the All-Star game tonight?
No, that already happened.
Did it?
Yes.
But your Cubs just traded the Braves Jock Peterson.
Have fun because the Cubs are about to rebuild, so it's gonna be a good time.
Yes, exactly.
That's Brandon right now.
All right. So for the other story that we were going to talk about that Brandon threw up already, Matt Damon says he was offered.
Just act like this is the first time you've seen it.
Oh man, did you hear about this? Matt Damon was offered the lead role in the original Avatar with 10% back end, and the movie made $2.85 billion with a
Now you got to read it like I wrote it. Read it like I wrote it.
Billion.
$billion.
So, yeah,
a lot of money.
Yeah,
I think it was a conflict with the Bourne franchise, but yeah, he would have played Jake Sully in the Avatar, and then what would become more Avatar movies. So he would have been sitting pretty right now.
he'd have probably been.
Not that he's not already sitting pretty, but even prettier.
Yeah, he would have probably been making he'd probably been the richest actor.
Yeah, he would have been making a run at Robert Downey Jr. with Marvel.
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah,
cash.
I don't know what Downey's percentage was.
It got crazier.
But
he was
crazier
making
with each
like
movie.
20-something million
Oh,
at
dude.
first, and then he got into like the 40s and hundreds.
I think the first one it was barely a million or under that, and then he got into like by Endgame, I think it was like 80 million or something crazy.
Yeah, he took a sweetheart deal for the first one. Took a sweetheart deal for the first one, and then he made a lot of money. So,
yep.
but speaking of Robert
If
Downey,
my calculations are correct, and I just did them in my head here,
here we go.
that equates to about $300 million.
For
A little
Matt
less.
Damon? For Matt
For
Damon?
Damon.
That's just
I did it for $3 billion.
but that's just the first
rounded
movie.
it up.
That is a lot of cash.
And I don't know what that equates for like home box office. Like,
Yeah, but would it really be
DVD
worth
and stuff like
anything with inflation? Or am I right?
Yeah, I mean, what, that was 10 years ago?
They were going to pay him in. Man, could you imagine if he said, "Yeah, pay me that in Bitcoin"? Whew.
Yeah,
Cash
exactly.
on cash on cash.
Yes, exactly.
You can't quote the drop and then play the drop.
Brandon says, "Au contraire."
One or the other. Fred.
Well,
So you don't have to look at it anymore.
shouldn't have gave me these privileges.
You know.
You're gonna regret this.
I regretted it when I saw him in there the first night. First thing I said was, "Oh, these are all directed at me." And Brandon was like, "No, just one."
We only had 2 at the time.
That's Scott McClellan in the house.
Hollywood Mal.
What's up, Scott?
Yeah.
Nani
Hey,
G's
Nani.
here also.
Hey, Scott. How are you guys? That's not how this works. All right. So, speaking of Robert Downey Jr., all right.
Yes, I'm ready for this one.
Yeah. He's
Yep.
gonna. There's an adaptation of Viet Thanh Nguyen's The Sympathizer for HBO, and A24 are putting this together. Park Chan-wook will be directing this series. So Robert Downey Jr. is to co-star in this adaptation. So I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be on board.
Roles.
A lot of people don't even know what it's about, but it's a novel. It's an espionage thriller, cross-cultural satire about the struggles of a half French, half Vietnamese communist spy during the final days of the Vietnam War and his resulting exile in the United States. For those of you, including myself, that have not read the book. So, you guys pumped about this? Or are you just pumped because it's Robert Downey Jr.? What's the deal?
Look, I'm
There's a
into
few
A24 and I dig Downey, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was gonna say. Downey hasn't really done anything besides Doolittle since his Marvel exit, which
Yeah.
I never saw, but didn't hear many great things about. My daughter saw it; she seemed to like it, but she was 6 at the time. So.
Well, look at you.
I can
Hey,
play
that's
him.
what I do. That's what I do. You don't get to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin this for you.
Played it. What did I mess up this time?
I'm gonna ruin.
Oh, that's cute. Well, now, do you guys know a lot about Park Chan-wook as far as his career directing wise?
I can't.
I
say
do
that
not.
I
I know he did Old Boy. That's maybe one of his more famous flicks.
Yeah, Old Boy's
which
good, man. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't
the
seen
Spike
it
Lee
either.
version.
I haven't seen his. Yeah, I haven't seen his or the American version.
I've seen both.
What
I've
else has Downey's production company put out
Well,
there? I'm just curious. Down in the let us know down in the comments.
Well,
They just did Sweet Tooth.
Oh, really? That was his.
Or he and his wife. Yeah, I mean, I assume that was his
Nice.
production company. Yeah, because they're both behind it.
So
yeah, I don't know. Other than that,
Park Chan-wook
Hopefully.
also did The Handmaiden, that was very popular back in 2016, and looks like he had something to do with Snowpiercer. I'm guessing it was the show.
maybe. Yeah, it says
Produced by.
Snowpiercer.
Produced
Producer.
by.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
So- he's in bed with
What's
that
that?
group. That's good.
yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know anything about the source material, but anything with Downey in it,
Well,
I'm
I
in
mean-
for, and be interesting to see this pairing, considering the background of this filmmaker.
Got time to read
stylistically.
the book. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Brandon.
There's time. There's time. There is time.
For sure.
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad you went down the Just Friends rabbit hole for these drops. There's so many.
So, by the way, speaking of that, did you guys see the Deadpool? What's the Rock
Yes.
character's
No,
name?
let him finish. I want to see how he explains this.
It was basically like a trailer reaction to the new Ryan. What's his name? Ryan, not
Reynolds?
Gosling. Reynolds. Yeah.
Yeah.
His new movie. So
Apologies, everybody.
Freak.
Al's shoulder deep in Criterion movies right now, so he's blocked out all famous actors and actresses.
now there's a lot of famous actors and actresses, and they're just all dead.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're dead. So anyway,
But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
The Free Guy trailer breakdown thing.
well, I mean, I will say this. I have no desire to see what's called is it the Fall
Free
Guy?
Guy.
Oh, Free Guy. Okay. I have no desire to see that movie. It's not my jam. I'm not making fun of the movie or anything. I'm just saying, but
It's got Jodie Foster in it.
that's great. Ryan Reynolds probably plays the internet and social media and the whole game probably better than anybody because I like his mint. His mint commercials are really good. So I appreciate what he does.
His marketing company, Maximum Effort, and others. He's got so many companies. He just owns that whole space.
Yeah, no, he's smart. He's smart about it. And even during like the lockdowns and everything, when a lot of the famous people were being kind of annoying to a lot of people, he came out and just called them out. But in a funny way. It's
very self-deprecating. Like,
yeah, well, I mean,
that's the way that he does it, and
it's easy to be self-deprecating when you're, on top of the world, good-looking dude, has a beautiful wife.
Even the line about the in the breakdown where he says like smells like Fox, the end of Fox fire sale.
Yeah, it's accurate.
I don't know. I mean, I appreciate him just fine. So I'm not, like I said, doesn't mean I'm going to run out and watch every movie, but I appreciate what he does, even if he is that one note, but he does it really well. So he's kind of like a Danny McBride type. Danny McBride does that one note very well. So
yeah, that's probably true.
But I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just that some people are that. I mean, Will Ferrell did it for a while. Well, guys, a couple weeks ago, we reviewed. When Ryan was still on the show, we reviewed Quiet Place 2.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you can watch it again pretty soon without going to the theater because it's coming out this month. On Blu-ray and digital and 4K and all that stuff.
It's on Paramount Plus right now.
They've had, I mean, that they've had this thing queued up for ages.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're just like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, that's insane. I mean, like, isn't the turnaround usually at least a couple, like 2 or 3 months at least?
Yeah, I'd say like 3 months
usually. But I mean, Paramount did announce that they were doing a 45-day window to Paramount.
They're probably
Plus.
tired of paying the warehouse fees for these things. They probably had them sitting in dust, and they're gonna be all warped from the heat.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is surprise. I was surprised to see that it was coming out this quickly, but I'm not really going to complain. I enjoyed it, and I will be buying it.
Same
for sure. I just hope.
I believe you.
It's true. You should. I just hope that if this is going to become a norm as far as the window between
get it as you walk out of the theater.
Theatrical to I just hope they don't skimp on like special features. They're already skimping on like commentary tracks and things like that. Like that's been less and less as physical media has been put out. So I just I hope that remains and quality. Like I don't want them to rush the transfers and rush the sound mix and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I feel like you're going to start seeing a lot more of that stuff on YouTube than on discs.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you still kind of do. Sometimes you'll see creators doing like there's a Hot Fuzz Tarantino and Edgar Wright commentary track that's just out there on YouTube that they did.
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
Or SoundCloud or something. But yeah,
I've listened to.
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah. It's a good time. Good time.
Anybody else going to be picking this up? Al, you were kind of mad on the movie, but
I don't think I will.
You probably
I
wouldn't.
don't think I will. I mean, it would have to be. It'd have to be like in the $5 bin or something like that for me to just pick it up.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of Best Buys recently, and none of them have those anymore.
No,
Sadly.
they do not.
Sadly,
They barely have
Do you
movies.
ever go
I know,
to
it's brutal.
what's the store?
This should be fun.
Big Lots.
Yeah.
Big Lots. They have a decent amount of like really cheap Blu-rays, and now they're going to have vinyl. I got an email today that they're going to have vinyl,
really?
so it might be.
Is
something
that still a
to-
thing? Big Lots.
There's one in Athens.
Vinyl.
Gotcha.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, and there's rumors that after this month, Barnes and Noble is going to cash in on vinyl again, and they're going to do a half-off vinyl sale there. So we'll see what happens.
Rumors. You said it. It was fact.
I
Now I'm
said
confused.
it's
True.
supposed to be happening.
Was this another GSN exclusive?
No gas station news this week. No, it happened last year in August, and the Criterion sale happens every July and November, and then their other sales happen in certain months. So I'm guessing that's a thing they're going to start. So that's the rumor.
We'll see. We'll report
We
back.
shall see. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about some of the movies coming out this year. And I think
Where's the I don't believe you drop? That's what,
I'm
You have
excited
to make one
about
of yourself.
Green Knight. I'm excited about Green Knight. I'm excited about Dune. But the thing is that this is weird to me. They're releasing exclusive footage and such in IMAX. So you just go to IMAX to watch this, and it's not on the front of a movie or anything, if I'm understanding correctly.
yeah,
I-
that's possible.
I haven't found
as far as
anything
the-
about ticket prices. I haven't found out how long we're talking. I don't know that this is going to be if it's not in front of a movie. I don't know that it's going to be where.
No chance.
I mean, I'm not going to a theater just to watch. Okay,
I don't want to go see movie footage in an IMAX theater to spoil the footage
Right.
for me in IMAX before I go see the movie in IMAX.
and I'm glad you said that because here's the thing. I'm getting to the point to where I believe that the pageantry around the movies is more important than the actual movie nowadays to people, because you get videos, you get the trailer, you get the reaction to the trailer, you get all this stuff, and then you hardly get anything about, like, when the movie itself comes out. You get more stuff about the lead up to the movie, like who's going to be in it and all the rumors and this, that, and the other. And I know we have a movie show.
We also
I-
live in a little bit of a bubble in that regard too.
I kind of.
I'll be honest with you.
Aren't in there.
This whole thing reeks of like terrible WB decision making.
Well, it also just
Yeah.
it's also just an effort to, I think, revitalize the box office. Just get people back into the theater.
Well,
Um,
I don't know how trustworthy this article is because they did say it is Francis Villeneuve's Dune. So
Are we relaying gas station news right now?
yeah, sorry, guys.
Francis, where did they even come up with that? It's Denis. It's not Francis.
He just finished watching Nomadland.
Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I was like, "What?" I even thought I know his name's Denis, but am I wrong? I had to check. I had to make sure I was like, hang on. Did they just make us think that Denis? Yeah, I'm not either.
So this reminds me of
Everything's
back pre then out. You actually
pre me.
told me that you would do this with me at the time, and I don't think you would ever do this again. But they showed an exclusive, just this similar thing. Just go for this type of event to IMAX, watch it, 5 minutes. It was the first time the BVS trailer was going to be shown, and you committed to go with me that. And I know you wouldn't do that now, but I appreciate it.
So
we didn't go. I wish we would have,
thing.
because the people that did go got tickets to see the movie 2 weeks early, and I regretted it after I heard that.
Well, here's the thing. I still need
maybe that's coming.
convincing for that movie. I wasn't hot on that movie coming, and I'm not trying to talk down about the movie. I'm just saying that's why. I don't even remember that being a thing. I trust that that's the case. But I knew you were stoked about it. But I needed a little convincing. So I was trying to get excited about that movie, but it just didn't happen for me. And that's probably, I'm guessing, where my mind was in that. But that.
I believe you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I don't know, but here's the thing. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, is that, I talked about before I got into the vinyl thing, before I really, you guys talked me into it and everything. And before I got into it, I was talking about, I want to listen to an album all the way through. I want to watch movies instead of watching YouTube so much and so on and so forth. And want to really work on my attention span and such. But I'm almost to the point to where I don't want to be the person that just like, oh, no trailers or like run away from trailers or be crazy about it. But I almost get more nervous now when they do things like this. This makes me think that they're desperate. And to Brian's point a while ago, maybe it is just bad WB, but Warner Brothers.
Well,
but
I think just at the most big top-down level, I just think it screams that
Spit it out, Brandon.
They need this to make money, because this is an expensive movie. Denis Villeneuve is not. He doesn't.
Francis.
We talked about this before, but yeah, Francis. He doesn't. His films don't make a ton of money. So
yeah, I wonder if they catch up when they get on, streaming and home video and such.
I mean, look at this cast. That's why you have this cast. You cast the type of people that are in this movie because they're all names.
Well, that was another thing about this article.
Like Chalamet casting is like, we got to get the young people involved. And you got, it's like staggered. You've got the Jason Momoa people. You've got the Oscar Isaac people, the Josh Brolin people. It's very, Zendaya. So it's a pretty wide demo type cast, but they really need all this to make money, because this is only one half of the book. So
the first book,
yeah,
there's like 10 books or something like that. Some crazy amount of books. Maybe. I keep forgetting that all those people are in this movie. I only thing I know is Timothée Chalamet and Oscar Isaac, but the thing that's bringing me to the theater is Denis Villeneuve, because I know that I'm going to regret not seeing this in the theater if I don't go see it in the theater, because it's an event, and that's why I'm really wanting people.
I'll say this too. That I'm like, I'll just watch it on HBO Max for most of the other stuff. This one I will go to the theater see. I want to see this.
Ooh, CiNEMACHiNE road trip. CiNEMACHiNE field trip.
Yeah. In either IMAX or Dolby Cinema. So
I'll see this and the Green Knight in theaters for sure.
Yeah. Are you gonna have to? Green Knight's theaters only.
I'm just saying I'm not gonna wait for it to come. There's a lot of people that don't even understand. I've shown that trailer to a few people. They're like, what? And there's a longer trailer too that has like this long explanation about the poem that it's adapted from and whatnot, and that really loses people.
I liked the first trailer because it was like, it just kind of like set the style and place and tone, and I hate when trailers like hammer home what is exactly happening in the movie. Like, I just need something to pique my interest, and that one certainly did.
Yeah, and I mean, that one has me locked in because it's A24, to be honest with you. And what's starting to scare me is that, it was that A24 is starting to take a flyer out on maybe selling $2.5 to $3 billion is what they're they've been really hinting at. And I see, look at that killing of a sacred deer up there, and the lobster. Oh, some good stuff. Spring Breakers.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I am such a fan. Like,
All the good ones.
hey, if you haven't seen Killing of a Sacred Deer or The Lobster, you really should. And the
Is Ghost Story on there? I don't see Ghost Story.
I don't see it. No, I don't see it. But it's a good one.
Yeah.
But A24, I don't. I'm trying to think of a movie that they did that I just didn't like, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, I mean, they have a
good track record.
They're one of as far as the studio is concerned, they do have a great track record.
Never would have guessed that they would be $3 billion though. That's awesome, but I never would have guessed.
Yeah, it's good. I wonder, it didn't say who was entertaining buying them, did it?
No, I think it's more of them kind of like, hey, like whenever sports teams kind of like throw out ideas of like these people are available in trade. I think it's that kind of thing. So
that seems like a huge lowball to me.
Well, I mean, MGM, which is much more storied than A24, sold for $8 billion. So I mean, it's a little less than half.
Yeah, but I mean, other than Bond and Creed, I don't know. I don't feel like they have a lot of like storytelling momentum like A24 does.
MGM?
Yeah.
They have quite the catalog. I mean, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, they have. I remember they have. Aren't they? No, that's Universal. Never mind. So either way, I can't think of it off the top of my head, and it'll probably take longer for me to look it up. So, but yeah, I don't know. I get nervous when these kind of things happen. To A24 to me is like the really successful band that you're scared that they're gonna start making pop music, and you really like their like indie music. And it really does kind of frighten me that they're going to do that. But at the same time, you got to go out and get your money. That's why you're in business. So I get it.
Yeah. They're also, though, they're kind of owning that indie genre like no one else has. So like that's kind of their value add.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so you would think they would hold true to that.
You would think, but I don't know. I don't know anymore, Ryan. I don't know.
Relax, Al. Rest easy.
Nervous?
Yeah, you get nervous too much, Al.
Long as Criterion doesn't like sell, I'm fine. That's the one thing I was trying to think of. Like somebody was comparing some, and this goes in line with what we're talking about. Somebody was comparing like a Criterion version of a movie to a regular 4K release, and the Criterion was a 2K restoration, but it was 2K, and the Criterion, and this person wasn't necessarily a Criterion person. It was just they were comparing the two to see if it was really worth buying the Criterion. And to be honest with you, Criterion won out because they take such care of it. But I was just looking at the packaging and everything around it, and the studio's just like, here it is. Like, I mean, Promising Young Woman's a great example of this. It's just like, here, you can have it now. Shut up. It's just like they don't put any real effort. And I think they do that at first because they're like, well, we're going to release the 12 other special editions and still try to cash in on this. I get that. But people go back for all these boutique shops and want those special editions like the They Live. And we talked about Shout Factory releasing Halloween. Ryan, have you heard about that?
I have.
And it looks, I mean, the ones with vinyl look pretty sharp, but the actual regular packaging looks pretty terrible. But I don't understand why they don't really pay attention to the whole entire package, not just package design, but just the whole, like they market it, they put all this effort into it, and then they give you a silver disc with the title of the movie on it, and then a replication of the poster, and that's it. And it just kind of bothers me, and that's why I like A24. And others because they take such care of the audience. And that's why I get nervous when things like this are threatened to be taken away, because the fat cats get in there and they put that same mentality into the good things and then they ruin it. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep it real,
I
man.
know what you're saying.
Totes, bro.
Oh boy. All right.
I concur.
So, Universal films will now stream on Peacock, following a little deal they came up with, and will then go to Amazon Prime after that. So if they ever do that Fast and the Furious musical, it'll be on there, and then Jurassic World Dominion will be on there, amongst many others. So, I still I have to say I'm not as excited about the Jurassic World Dominion as I was the Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom was okay, but I'm still wanting to see it in the theater. How about you guys?
I definitely, like I said, I recently returned to every Jurassic movie not too long ago. And even though I was kind of middle of the road on Fallen Kingdom in the theaters, I really enjoyed it a lot more watching it. That was the first time I'd seen it since theaters. And I think I've mentioned before on the podcast that Battle at Big Rock little short that they put out on YouTube is pretty solid. And I guess they did that before production began on the actual movie. And Trevorrow shot that as well, but with Larry Fong. And yeah, it's cool. And this whole premise is exciting. Just getting outside the park. Because I know a lot of people are indifferent about the Lost World. I remembered when it had that like surprise at the end and they end up in San Diego. I was like, oh my goodness. And like I loved everything in San Diego. Like the kid looking out his bedroom and the T-Rex is drinking up the water from the pool, like all that stuff. The T-Rex slamming up against the bus going down the street and like all that stuff. It eating the dog out of the doghouse. And I still like it. So I'm excited to see what they do with it being, here. So I don't know, but that's just me. Ryan?
I'll still see it in theaters. I will say I'm huge stock down after the last movie. I really did not like the last movie. But yeah, I mean, like, I guess for comparing purposes, I'm more excited to see the Green Knight in theaters than I am to see.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we're talking about, is it?
I smell 2 CiNEMACHiNE field trips. So that's what I smell. I smell it.
Got Al excited. He's going to get out of his house.
Well, as soon as I get this bracelet off my ankle. Well, now I know this is the trend we're seeing, but I really do hope it doesn't kill the full movie going experience. And I honestly believe it won't, because the more I talk, just the
streaming,
stream at home thing. I know we've talked about it ad nauseum. So
this box, Pandora's box has been opened. You're not closing it. Like this.
Oh no, but I still think that people will want to go to the theater. Maybe not as many as in the past, but I do think people will still go to the theater because people like the theater experience. And until they figure out how to put the drugs on popcorn,
the
like
Black Widow numbers. I think it did 90 million box office and then like 60 from Disney Plus premiere.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Which is crazy.
I saw it.
So
I don't know. I haven't paid attention to anything about. I haven't really had a option to pay attention to anything about what's in theaters right now. So, been down in the bunker watching old movies about sad stuff. By the way, I bought a 9.5 hour movie. You guys want to watch it with me?
I'd rather watch.
It's a trilogy, but I mean, I was thinking, if y'all can watch 4-hour movie 12 times, y'all can watch one 9.5 hour trilogy.
Or I can watch a 12-hour movie 14 times. Or a 4-hour movie 14 times.
So
No.
Brandon, I'll bring it over and we'll just all watch. So, hey, third field trip.
Hey!
It's black and white in Japanese, and it's about
Chris translating.
a soldier in war. So you guys are excited, right?
No, and I don't care.
Hitting all those script cues, Brandon.
Well played.
All right, let's talk about some movies that will be coming out. Let's talk about some trailers. Have you guys watched any of the trailers coming out? There are a slew of them.
We have at least 20 trailers on this list.
Yeah. So first off, I want to talk about Lamb from A24. Yes, please. 3 bags full. Have you guys watched this one? Ryan, did you watch this one?
Nope.
Numi Rapace?
I feel like it's been like a trailer onslaught.
Yes.
Literally had to spend an hour just kind of studying trailers today.
I like the screenshot. Looks intense.
It is.
It is.
It's pretty intense. Okay, Ryan, you like The Witch, right?
I do.
Okay, this has that, maybe not as much, but it has that vibe. That's exactly what I was. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a modern age. It's not, I'm not saying it's anything to do with The Witch. I'm not saying that at all, but it has that vibe.
So just to give you an idea, Ryan,
There's sheep in it.
Is it Rapace?
Rapace.
Rapace. She's the mother or maybe adoptive mother of a half human, half sheep hybrid child. It's like a horror flick based on.
Sweet Tooth spinoff.
So there's your kind of, but a little darker, a little bit darker.
Yeah, it definitely.
I've liked everything I've seen her in, so I'm. And
it was such a bummer when she was only in that like short for Alien Covenant.
For Alien, yeah. Oh yeah, that was the worst.
Man,
darn.
I really liked her. And
I don't know that she could have saved that movie. That movie was stinker. So, all right. So this movie is a yes for me. Brandon, is it a yes for you to like? I know this isn't getting you out of your house. I can tell you that much.
It's not getting me out of the house unless I'm just happen to be out of the house already.
Ryan, we can go see it.
But that's nothing to do with the film. I mean, let's
go break into Brandon's house and put it on his theater.
And then I'm gonna like weld his Blu-ray player shut with that Human Condition movie I was talking about.
Yeah.
Put Indiana Jones 1 in there.
RoboCop. So
I can only play the fourth one.
So it only plays.
Yes, I am interested to see it. And it's A24, so it's got that going for it.
Yeah, another A24 that's coming out is Val.
Now
I'm in.
Yeah, so I have not watched the trailer because I don't want to, because I want to see it. I just want to see it. You know what I mean? I'm in before
this trailer.
I don't need to see a trailer.
Is great and also just sad. Also, just seeing Val Kilmer now.
Yeah, he's had
been
some
through the ringer as of late. And I didn't know that he was this bad either. As far as really not even, he's got one of those like vocal things that he has to use.
Sure.
But no, this is pretty crazy because apparently in part of the trailer, since you haven't watched it, Al, but Val was like, he says this, he's like, he was one of the first people that he knew that had a video camera. And so he documented like pretty much 24/7 his career.
Yeah.
And continue to do so.
It was pretty cool that they were all young. He was hanging out with like Kevin Bacon and so, oh, that's cool, man.
That's really cool, Val.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about this. I'm not going to sit here and act like I was the biggest Val Kilmer fan in the world or whatever, but I do appreciate him as an actor, and I do appreciate what he's been through lately. And
I'm really interested.
Thoughts and prayers are with him.
for sure. I'm really interested to see because he's going to be in Top Gun Maverick, and I wonder how they play that. If they
I was wondering
play
the same
into
thing.
It's gonna be a silhouette
his-
probably or something.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be more substantial than that, but I just wonder if he'll speak and if his issue right now with his cancer and his vocal cords, if they'll have that as a part of his character.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just curious to see how that.
Well, now Val Kilmer used to be known as one of the hardest people to work with in Hollywood. That was like well known.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. I hate that this is happening to him, but I think it's brought him back down to earth. And it seems like he's, appreciating life and not demanding so much. He was kind of like the Katherine Heigl of his day, except he had talent.
By the looks of the trailer, it does seem like he's had some humbling.
Yeah. And doesn't he have a couple kids? I think I saw something where his kids have really helped him through this. So if I'm not mistaken.
It's possible. I don't know. They don't touch upon that in the trailer that I know of. But he does dress up like Batman, like Adam West Batman.
I saw that on the
trailer.
thumbnail for it. Yeah. Well, one of the ones that I saw.
Al's a huge Batman Forever fan.
No. That was one of the first movies I ever was angry when I walked out of the theater. That's when I realized
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
then I dyed my
That's
hair
you.
red. Yeah. So my dad used to own a restaurant, and I was working at his restaurant, and I had a thing where I had to see Batman movies the day they came out, not just the weekend, the day, like on the Friday or they came out, and I had to go see that. And my dad had to shut down his restaurant, not shut it down, but we went and saw the late showing. So we got out, drove an hour to the theater. And I mean, I nagged my dad. My dad had no idea why it was important to me. We got there, and I was so mad that we watched that movie. I was like, this stinks so much. Oh my gosh. And I hated it so much.
How old were you?
Well, I don't know. 13 maybe.
That movie hit me at the right age because I was so big into Jim Carrey, and
I was 15.
That's the movie that I bought the most Batman, or was bought for the most Batman merch when it came out.
Yeah,
I had puzzles and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I hated everything about it except the soundtrack got everybody, but yeah, just yikes. All right, so I didn't watch Succession, but I know you guys. I know Brandon's a fan, so Succession's coming out season 3. You guys excited about this?
I know Ryan is. Ryan's the one that turned me on to this show.
Okay.
Yeah, this show's great. And I think this one got pushed back. What are you doing? What is this?
Love it. Did it play the audio at all?
No.
I was trying to download the video and put it up, but it was taking forever to download.
Nice try. Look, let me do this part. Okay, I got this. All right, Ryan. Got it.
Do you really have it? Just do it.
Yeah, I do.
You know what you are? What? You're difficult. Really difficult. You're a difficult man.
Now that one is reserved for Al. Okay, you can't use that on me.
I used it on both of you.
I didn't do it. This is a disaster.
I hate the drops, so I'm just gonna burn them. I'm just burning them. Yes,
but no, I'm excited by this trailer. I know that it was supposed to come out a while ago, but production got postponed because of COVID and stuff. But this is another instance. I think we talked about this either. I can't remember if we talked about it here. No. Anyway, I I have a hard time when I binge things.
Mhm.
I have a hard time once the new season comes around retaining things that have happened. And this was such a like, so many things happened in these 2 seasons that I'm like, okay, I gotta go back. I gotta rewatch watch a video, a recap video or something to get back in that headspace. Cause
I'm
I
definitely
only
gonna
remember
rewatch
like,
both of these seasons.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
yeah.
It's not something that.
It worked this time.
Try it again.
Copyright strike.
Sorry.
Very
Uh,
good. Very good. You did it.
Yay!
Yay! Well, there were some other trailers. There were some wacky ones out there. Did you guys see the trailer for Queen Pins?
No.
Negative.
All right. So this is based on a true story where these ladies had a coupon scam going where they got millions upon millions of dollars. Like they pretty much swindled millions of dollars out of these companies by stealing coupons, printing off their own coupons, so on and so forth. I don't know that it's something I want to see, but I definitely know there's a whole culture out there of people that do the couponing. So I think if this gets into the right hands, you'll see some of those because there's couponing clubs out there, folks. So I think that some of those clubs might treat this as a field trip or watch this at their houses. But this is supposed to come out in theaters. So, and it's a
Oh,
comedy.
I can see you running a coupon club.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coupon King.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
But-
Well, I didn't see it, but I mean, I like Kristen Bell, and I remember the other lady from The Good Place, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, but is it theatrical only or Paramount Plus? Oh, okay, it's theaters and then Paramount Plus right after. So
Yeah. One movie that I am interested in is called Ride the Eagle. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
Mm-mm.
this one, oh yeah, this is the one I didn't see. Yep.
They didn't watch any of the ones I sent them.
Sorry.
So
I watched. Well, no, I watched the trailer for No Man of God that you sent.
all right, we'll talk about that one next. So this was written and stars Jake Johnson.
Like him?
I like him just fine. I think he's funny. And this is about his mom, Susan Sarandon. She dies and basically doesn't want him to grow up without living life. So she leaves him these notes in a cabin out in the woods, and he has to basically abide by them. I don't know if there's like
So
some kind of his inheritance.
It's P.S. I Love You, but with a mom and son.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Sure. Yes. So anyway, but I don't know. It looked pretty funny. It had a little heart to it. I don't know that I would go to the theater to see this, but it does look like it has a little heart. So it will be theaters and VOD, but we'll see how long that lasts before
Well,
it just shoots out.
I like the
onto-
cast, but I will have to, and I apologize that I did not watch it.
It's okay.
I did watch the other one you sent.
I don't
There's just
want
so
any
many
of
on
them,
here.
you guys can't.
I forgive
So,
you.
There you go.
So okay, No Man of God. You mentioned it.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Okay. Does anybody else have the same issue with what's his name? What's Frodo's name or whatever his name? What's his
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
Wood.
His
Okay,
other name.
He perpetually looks 12 years old. He just looks 12 years old for life.
Well,
And it's not his
I mean,
fault. He's
God
a good
bless him.
actor. He's I mean, hey, good on him. But I don't believe him as a hard-nosed lawyer. So I don't know.
It is interesting casting. I mean, sorry, what?
Did you watch the movie about Ted Bundy that was on? I think it was Netflix.
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah,
you and I.
Yeah, I thought that was okay.
And I didn't think.
Is this a Ted Bundy movie?
I didn't think Efron was like,
terrible.
He got a lot of accolades for that, but I thought he was okay. I don't know.
I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was great, but yeah. So Ryan,
this guy that's playing Ted in this movie though, he was in Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Luke Kirby
and
Luke Kirby.
It's a new season of that I want to check out.
His name is
we
Luke
started it.
Kirby. Kirby Luke.
But yeah, Luke Kirby.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's the comedian.
But he looks like him. He looks like him in this freaking movie.
What's his name? What's the guy? The famous comedian from
Welcome to the Guys That Have No Brains show.
Lenny Bruce.
Like, whoa, what's that stick?
Well, this is your world. He played Lenny Bruce.
Oh, Lenny Bruce. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough road to.
But he was great.
Oh.
Like he was. I mean, I don't know much about Lenny Bruce. I've watched some of his stand-up and stuff that's out there. And he seemed like he got his mannerisms down really well.
Yeah, Lenny Bruce was like the trailblazer for all the naughty comedians, really. So we got arrested a lot. So this movie does look interesting.
Good.
I don't know that this is a theater visit for me. I do think that this is something I will watch. But
it's got Robert Patrick in it.
Yeah. Now he doesn't look 12. He does not. No. He looks like a 12-year-old that had a rough go at it. But but Elijah Wood, he just looks. I think he's like around 40 now, right? And he like late 30s, early 40s, and he still looks like he's in his early to mid 20s. So it's hard to see him as a lawyer that Ted Bundy entrusted all of his stories with. So Ryan, I'll sum this up for you. It's Ted Bundy told all of his like secrets where all the bodies were, to quote the old phrase, but he told him everything to this one lawyer and considered him his best friend and all this stuff. And this was just a lawyer that was told to go in there and get information. And for some odd reason, Ted Bundy did it. So this is the story of their relationship.
Gotcha.
So it actually looks very interesting. I can see this being a good,
it's very
movie
like
to watch.
Silence of the Lambs ish.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very Silence of the Lambs almost.
Somewhat. Yeah, somewhat. Probably not as good. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I'm just going to say it.
Elijah Wood's production company?
I believe so.
How's it going?
Howdy.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I mean, I do agree. Elijah is very baby-faced. So that's a little distracting.
And that's not to take anything away from his acting at all. I'm not saying that. But if you do want to go see a good Elijah Wood movie, go see I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore on Netflix. I will say that. I don't watch Netflix anymore, but that movie is fantastic. That movie is great. Hey, Movie Geek, how you doing, man? That's an old Criterion fella right there. He likes we've been chatting about some Criterion. He gave me some good suggestions, and he knows about The Human Condition, the 9.5 hour trilogy I was telling you guys about.
Great. So, you can have him on to talk about it there. Yeah. So here.
Well, he's already watched it. So yeah, he's so yeah, everybody go check out his channel. He's got a good channel. So all right. So we I do want to see that. Did you guys watch? Okay, I'm just gonna ask. Did you watch the trailer for Hit and Run?
Dude, yes. I have not seen most of these trailers. Okay. I've been on vacation.
So Hit and Run. This movie sparked my interest. How about yours, Brandon?
Yeah, it's so Well, this is a Netflix movie, Al. So I don't know how.
I know, that's what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying. I'll have to wait until they release it on physical media because they do that. But no, the thing about so Ryan, I'll explain these movies to you. So this is basically this guy. I don't remember where he's from. Like
You can just watch the trailer, Ryan.
Yeah, I just watched
Russia.
Sometime.
something like that. Anyway, somebody hits his
It's
wife.
it's basically it reminded me
Yes, it is
of
an
a
amazing
better.
trilogy. Thank you, Movie Geek.
It reminded me of a better, more serious version of Taken, almost instead of
Yeah,
a
Same.
wife or daughter getting taken, they're like murdered, like
Yeah.
hit by a car or something. And
That's
I think
why
it's
I like-
is it a foreign language film?
No,
I know it
explain the
starts.
title.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. See, you're piecing it together. You didn't even watch the trailer.
That's how predictable movies are. There you go, Netflix. Predictable. So, yeah, I can't. It didn't look like it was foreign language, but it does take place throughout the world. So there are many different places in the trailer. So there could be pieces of it. It could have been dubbed, and I just didn't notice it because I wasn't paying attention to their mouths that much. But I mean, it looks entertaining. I'm not going to say it looks like it's stellar piece of cinema or anything. So, but I would watch it if I had a chance. But I think the main one I want to talk about though is Surge. I'm going to be honest with you.
Came out today.
When I first saw that thumbnail, thought it was Jim Carrey. I was like, whoa. And I thought they'd put some digital makeup on the guy. This movie really does excite me. As a matter of fact, Brandon sent this out and I was like, now that's my kind of movie. This looks like Falling Down for the. Now I'm saying this because it seems like that's part of the movie. I don't know, but it seems like this guy might be on the spectrum or something. And it seems like he's got something else going on, not just being angry. And he just snaps. And I relate to those. No, I'm just kidding. I really do like movies like that. So
it also had a Good Time vibe as well.
That too. And right before that, you had reported that the Safdie brothers' Uncut Gems was going to be released on Criterion in October. So I was hoping that Good Time would eventually be released on Criterion as well, because that's a good movie. And I did feel that vibe in here. But
so this is the one with the guy with Q from James Bond, right?
Yeah, I never would have put that together because
it's
I just can't remember those movies. Not because they're bad or anything. I haven't watched them in a long time.
So
very different. Yeah.
So, but now I'm excited about that one. So, all right, let's talk about what we've been watching this week. Let's just talk about a little bit of it, and then we'll get out of here. But Ryan, it looks like you were on an airplane or something. You watched a lot, so you want to talk about you want to talk about some stuff you watched?
Yeah. So I saw. Have either of you guys seen Nomadland?
No, I haven't been in the right mood to see it, to be honest with you. It just seems like a bummer.
Yeah, I mean it's not a huge bummer. It's a very unique movie.
I've watched a lot about the movie, just not the movie itself.
It's if you want, we always talk about lived in movies. This movie is very lived in.
I will say that, yeah.
And Frances McDormand is great in it.
She's great in everything.
That's true. It's but it's very interesting. It doesn't really have a there's no real like build up to a climax. It's very like state of being. Yeah.
Well, they use real people. Like they just.
Oh yeah.
They use like.
Well, this is the one where she like. Didn't she like go super method on this one to where she like
lived in
whatever this person's lifestyle is? Like she did that. I don't remember the context of it, but
it would not surprise me. All the like odd jobs she gets, and
Chloe Zhao directed this, and I actually watched an interview with her, and I don't know, I keep saying it, but I'm sorry, it's just that month. But I watched an interview with her where she was talking about the Criterion and whatnot, and she's very interesting. If you get a chance to watch an interview with her, she's extremely interesting. So, and this was
movie, oddly enough, watching this movie, I know we've talked on Capecast a little bit about the Eternals movie. Watching this actually excited me more for the Eternals than the trailer did.
I think I was the only one excited by that trailer on Capecast, and that was because of her directing.
Say that the like we've talked about before, it's the stinger at the end that really turned me off of that trailer. But hopefully, it's like what you're saying. But anyways, it's pretty, for a very stark kind of environment. It's a pretty beautiful movie. So I'm interested to see how that translates in the Eternals.
I'm assuming it's
it's worth a watch.
A lot of natural light shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to see it, and I have a feeling, I have a distinct feeling it's going to end up on Criterion eventually, because it just seems like it's right there for the taking. But it's been on Hulu forever.
I did, yep.
But it does not seem like a place I'd want to watch this movie. It seems
honestly, it wasn't something that was on my list at the time, but I was scrolling through all the movies on there, and the selection was pretty terrible compared to what it usually is. So it's like, well, I guess it's really the only one that I had interest in when I scrolled through it.
Cool.
Word. That's cool. Yeah. Well, I know it's been on my Hulu watch list for a while. I just haven't.
Now,
pretty much exactly like Al. I want to be in the right headspace to watch it, just based on things that I've heard about it. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been on Hulu for a while. So.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched Outer Banks yet, nor have I watched The Witcher, but I have it's on my list. As far as Outer Banks, I don't know if it's the one for me. I watched the trailer of it, but I'm not opposed to watching it. I have my sister-in-law watches it, and she likes it, and because she likes it, I don't want to watch it. If that makes sense.
Hang on. I get garbage when I'm like, yeah, the bros like these movies. You know, like, oh, so you don't like something by association.
It's because I know the kind of stuff that she likes.
But you totally
I'm probably not gonna like it.
Yeah, you totally get it. That was what I'm saying.
But I did watch the trailer. But I appreciate the recommendation. I do want to watch Witcher 2 or The Witcher season 1 and then Witcher season 2. Got to get on that.
It's good.
Yeah. So I know that you guys watched the Tomorrow War, correct?
We did. Yeah.
All right. So
do we want to go ahead and say spoilers for these next couple here, Brandon? Or do
I don't have to talk unless you just feel like you can't talk about it without talking spoilers. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's up to you. I just figured we weren't planning on doing separate reviews of them, but
no, I'd say try not to be too spoilery.
Okay,
since people probably haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch the Tomorrow War. I watched it.
So is that good?
I was not a huge fan of it. I liked the action in it, but there were just too many and we won't get into spoilers, but there's a lot of stuff that little hangups I had with technical stuff and weird plot points that I felt. I don't know. No spoilers. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Brandon, what'd you think?
I actually really liked it personally.
Gotcha.
It was kind of like, it reminded me a lot of Armageddon meets Alien with
all I wanted to do the whole time watching this was turn on Edge of Tomorrow. That's all I cared about.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like, it's got hints of Cloverfield, Edge of Tomorrow in there.
It's a cover movie.
I think I thought the action was great. I thought that they really pushed the PG-13 rating with the violence element. And with alien designs, I feel like it's hard to come up with an original alien design. And it seems like since Cloverfield, they've had these like all the alien designs have been like these elongated leg creatures. And they kind of do that route, but they also mix in kind of like Matrix Sentinel designs, and they give them like more than just like clawing and biting. They have these like barb things that they can shoot at people with their little Sentinel things.
This was a movie that for me, a lot of the like I enjoyed the action like you're talking about. I enjoyed the visuals. And I actually enjoyed the story, the concept of the story as well, but a lot of it was undercut by some kind of dorky dialogue. And
well, that's what my complaints would be. The humor, all the humor fell flat for me.
Yeah. Essentially what I mean.
And yeah. But I loved like the whole daughter. I mean, listen, I'm a sucker for father-daughter movies, and I did tear up at parts in this movie. And
why are you the way that you are?
I mean, I just, you have a kid.
Turntables.
You open another compartment in your heart, and that's just what happens.
I'm a ginger. I don't have a soul, so
yeah. But no, I thought Chris McKay did a good job. I think story-wise, there's some things that are like
Chris McKay.
The mechanics of the time travel. It's always tricky. The time travel. I thought that they introduced a few cool elements, like they're only going to send people in the future that are going to die and not be present in the future, so that they can't run into their same selves. Thought that was cool. Same thing with the two portals, how they're moving alone in time at the same time, where they're not allowed. They're basically, in order to save that timeline, because they're existing on the same they're moving along at the same pace. They couldn't like put them into training for like months and send them into battle. Like they gave them like 7 days and then just pushed them in. But in the same light, it's like, well, what do they think they're going to accomplish if these civilians essentially are only getting 7 days of like, here's a gun, go die. Like, I don't know. I mean, that was kind of like, I know what they're trying to get this, like, they're trying to push it. Like, I guess that's where they were trying to introduce a little bit of like differentiation with the movies that have come before it, where you have these civilians that don't know anything about fighting that are trying to fight this war, except for Pratt and a few other people. I
agree. Like the story behind it is cool. I have so little patience for bad humor now. And
I agree.
A direct result of the DC stuff that we've experienced. I'm sure. It was a combination of that and like just like stupid stuff, like when they jump into the future and he's like falling out of the freaking clouds and lands in a pool.
He lands in the pool and he's fine.
Like, oh my God.
I had the same problem. I had the same problem with that.
But yeah, I will say I know it got a sequel announced. I'm not really sure.
Did it really?
What they're gonna do with the sequel.
They announced that they're developing a sequel. That doesn't mean that
one kind of feels to me like it's forced because this was very wrapped up. It just feels like it did really well, so let's make a sequel to it versus having something ready. But who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what angle they would go for a sequel. I honestly felt like at one point, like 3/4 of the way through the movie, I thought the movie was pretty much done, and then they have another act that I didn't expect. It lost a little bit of steam at that point, but
yeah.
How long is this movie?
It's 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt like it could have been a little shorter, a little tighter, but I mean, overall, I mean, we'll get into other things that I've watched recently later, but as far as some direct to streaming stuff, this was one of the stronger ones that I've seen in a while. But Al, you watched some Criterion things recently.
Stop trying to relate to me, Dad.
there. Hang on, before we talk about that, there's a comment. Yeah. I don't know about the black. I haven't heard anything. It's not my zone, so I don't know what people were expecting out of the Black Widow.
Neither of us have seen
people
it.
who are pretty big Marvel fans, and they were pretty disappointed by this
Okay.
movie, but have not seen it yet. I have
Okay.
not seen it yet, so
Right.
I can't
But you have every intention to see it. Is what I'm hearing.
I'll see it.
I think both of our
if I'm on a
motivation
plane
levels.
someday.
And they don't have Nomad Land. Maybe I'll check it out.
Nomad Land was hilarious in comparison to the Black Widow. No, I watched a movie called Hunger. Steve McQueen directed this movie. Let me tell you something. I watched this with my movie club.
You sound like Charles Barkley. Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something, boy.
He's got a very similar golf swing too. I've seen him play golf.
By the way, he cleaned that up lately. Charles
He did.
Barkley. This movie is Michael Fassbender stars in the Steve McQueen movie. This movie is based on a true story about in Ireland. The prisoners were treated so poorly in the I think it was 81 that the movie said this was based in. And this movie is one of those that you start watching it. Michael Fassbender's the main character. He's not even in the movie for the first like roughly hour, maybe 45 minutes. And
When did this come out?
like 2008, maybe.
I like Fassbender.
Holy handbags, this movie's good. Let me just tell you straight up, everybody in the audience, if you can handle some rough material, this movie is it. Now, this movie will make you appreciate everything you have in life. This movie had me like glued. Now, I'm going to say this. I watched this with my movie club. There's 6 people, including myself, in that club. And, you know, people liked the movie. They saw the goodness in the filmmaking itself. Not everybody was gripped by the story as much as I was, but there were some in there that were. I think this movie is one of the better movies I've seen in years. Michael Fassbender's fantastic. If you've seen The Machinist, how Christian Bale went through that transformation in his body, it's very similar in this, but
Is it about like anorexia?
No, so he's in prison and they're beaten brutally, like pretty much on the daily, to where the beginning of the movie, the whole entire first like 45 minutes to 50 minutes, something like that, it's just showing you how brutal it is in that prison. I mean, and it's brutal. I don't want to get into details because it's brutal. And there's a scene, so it's noted as, I don't know if this is true or not, but it could be up for the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest single scene, like single shot scene in a movie, because it's actually just 2 actors sitting at a table acting for 16 and a half minutes, like no cuts whatsoever. No, and they're like smoking and stuff, so you know there's no cuts because the smoke is everywhere. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. And I'll be honest with you, I have not subscribed to the Steve McQueen train like a lot of people have, because I really didn't know what to expect. But man, this guy is a great filmmaker. I'm going to go and watch some of his other stuff, and I'm very excited to see what he comes out with next. But wow, this movie was good. Michael Fassbender was great in this movie, but this movie is just gripping. And it's heartbreaking. He goes through they're treated poorly. So he puts himself on a hunger strike to get the attention of the politicians so that they'll come in and actually do something in the prison. And I don't want to tell you too much more than that, but I'm telling you, this movie is fantastic. I loved every second of it, and I'll stop talking about it now. But
what's it
wow,
about?
He's
It's a
done.
Criterion
Steve
movie.
McQueen's done a few movies with Fassbender, I think. Shane.
Yeah, I think they
12 Years
actually
a
knew
Slave.
each other. I think I want to say they did, but I tell you what, man, it's so good. I think Fassbender was in, was it 12 Years a Slave?
12 Years a Slave.
I think he was in that briefly,
That's
if I'm
what
not
I said.
mistaken. Oh, did you? Okay, I was in Criterion mode. I wasn't paying attention. So, anyway,
I believe you.
you should, because I was telling the truth.
I believe you.
But no, I mean, seriously, this guy. So the thing about this movie that really excited me was that Steve McQueen, I watched an interview with him, and he talked about how this story as a kid stuck out in his head because he didn't understand what a hunger strike was. He had to ask his parents. And
It's a song from Temple of the Dog.
Yeah. But man, this is great. And now I'm learning about the actual history behind it, you know, the actual true story. Some folks, when I had done my haul video and I showed that I had purchased this one, a guy said he was from Northern Ireland and kind of gave me, you know, a 2-sentence abbreviated version of this. So it sparked my interest. So I highly suggest this one, man. If you can watch it, watch it.
That's always a sign of a good movie, like a good experience, or a movie affecting you. No, I was going to say, if it drives you to do a lot of research after the fact, like if you just get consumed by it, that's always good. I love movies like that.
It's so good. I honestly believe that both of you would like this movie. It is not one that I think your wives would really get into because I know them. And it's, like I said, it is a hard one. It's a hard one to stomach, not because there's a lot of blood and guts or anything like that, but there are other human, I don't want to say fluids, but it's other masses.
Well, you said it
in the movie, but and there's a lot in it. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of frontal male nudity. So if you have,
sold.
I'm not saying it that way. I'm just trying to give everybody the precautionary measures that they need to go into this movie. It's like a Nomadland. You have to be in the right headspace. But man, I literally. So Brandon, you always make fun of me for going to sleep. I was like this and leaning up watching this movie. Like I was into it. Like it was like the first time I watched Pan's Labyrinth. I was on the edge of my seat. It was late at night. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. So highly suggest it.
Well, I see your enthusiasm and I can read it as genuine. So I believe you.
It is very genuine. And it's not just because it's on Criterion or whatever. But it is a great movie.
Way to hype up that channel. Can't wait.
So, all right. What else did you guys watch?
Ryan?
Brandon?
Well, we both watched something apparently last night, I assume, because it dropped yesterday, unbeknownst to each of us.
I'm just kidding.
It never gets old.
Ryan, you go first. I haven't talked to you about this. You may have loved this movie.
Hang on.
It's so bad.
I said it was going to be bad.
This is a case where
Can I ask you a question before you say anything about it? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
sure.
Is it all style and no like technical, or is it just style, no story?
It's not really anything.
Okay.
There's a story, but it's like, here's the thing. I think they have good ideas here and there as far as it comes across so amateur as far as execution. Like the only good like things I can say about it were set decorator did a great job. Cinematographer did a great job. Director did not.
Poster artwork's cool.
At all. Yeah. I mean, it looks great. Like visually, like all the set dressing.
I was excited to watch this after the trailer.
Who's in this
movie? I
movie?
watched it last night.
It's got good cast. Lena Headey, Karen Gillan, Card Gugino.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember.
And she was the best part of this
Paul
movie
Giamatti,
and hugely underused. underutilized, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know, man.
Dude, this comes across as like if you were to give a YouTube filmmaker a ton of money to make a movie, like that's what it feels like to me.
It just felt. It's so like. It's trying to be something
so hard to
just
be
weren't
female
talented
John Wick
enough to accomplish.
Like,
yeah, it pales in comparison. Like, I was like, all right, this is pretty good until their first fight sequence, and I was like, oh, this is awful. And then the next fight sequence, which is supposed to be kind of like cheeky and funny because one of the characters are three of them are beat up, and the main character's like paralyzed in her arms.
Yeah,
she's got like a tranquilized both her arms, so it's supposed to be this like comedic thing. It's awful. And then they actually towards the end, like the last set piece is actually mostly pretty well choreographed, well played. You know,
I like
everything's pretty good.
The library stuff was all good to me.
Yeah, but at that point, I was so checked out of the movie, I just didn't care anymore.
Dude, this was I checked my watch like 3 times. I would stop the movie to see how much time we had. I was like, come on.
Yeah. I could feel it's like one of those things. I watched it with Melissa last night, and I could feel like her checking out too. And it just intensifies the checking out.
Yeah. Katie was the same way, actually.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. It was.
I couldn't recommend it. Honestly, no. This is a prime example of. I mean, I was excited by the trailer. I thought the trailer was really well put together, and I thought it looked good. I know Al, you didn't, but Ryan felt the same way. And kudos to those trailer guys and gals, whoever put the trailer together.
I don't know how they pulled that one out.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they teed up a sequel at the end, and I'm just like, nope. Don't do it.
You know what's funny is Mondo released a poster for this today. I'm like, who's buying this poster? Like,
well, I mean, look, like Al said, the posters have been good. Like the artwork for it's been good. It's just
poster, yes, but the Mondo poster wasn't good. Like it was.
No, I haven't seen it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This poster was cool. As far as the aesthetic. And the tone, I was into it, but just execution was not great.
Not good.
Not great.
Well,
I don't know.
You got me. Well, now I got to go get Netflix back. Gosh, I'm excited.
Yes, I would recommend this to you, Al.
Well, anything else that you did like that you watched?
I got
we've got Loki, but we're gonna talk about that next week on KCast. So definitely tune in.
I've got another movie I'm going to talk about on. I think I have 2 more haul videos coming. I'm conflicted because people keep suggesting movies to me, and my list keeps growing. So it's like my list was already like 30 movies that I wanted, and I've pushed some of those off to buy some that others have suggested because they look way cooler than the ones I had. But yeah, I did buy and watch Smooth Talk, but I'm going to talk about it on my next haul movie. This was a movie. Laura.
Is that Laura Dern?
Yeah, it is. And she was like 15 or something like that in this movie. This movie, if you like the vibe of the 80s in this movie was actually filmed in the 80s, of course, but if you like the vibe of the 80s and Stranger Things, you might like this movie. It is nostalgia, but this movie is not for everyone. I'm not going to say that, but yeah, I'll talk more about it on Criterion Corner when I talk about that haul. But I can't stop buying the freaking movies, guys. and
you got a vinyl obsession.
I'm telling you, I'm going to make my own intervention banner.
Student loans be damned.
No, those are taken care of. But yeah, it's insane. It's a crazy time, and we got Record Store Day week this weekend. A week Record Store Day this weekend. So, whew.
Yeah.
And we got college football starting up pretty soon. I mean, it's a good time of the year, you know. 'Tis the season.
I agree with the first
be
part.
Jolly. So, well, folks, do you guys have anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
I guess we should just talk about what's coming out this week, and then we can bounce.
Yeah, let's do that. And also, Ryan, want to tell everybody where they can find us?
Before or after?
Both. Why not?
After. Do it
do
do it after.
Do
We
half
missed it at the
before,
beginning.
half
We were so
after.
Brandon's
excited that
already
you
got
were.
it queued up. Go ahead, pop it up.
I don't even.
We were
care
so
anymore.
we were so excited at the beginning. We forgot to do the you can
no,
find us here thing.
Ryan actually being here threw me off. So,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
oh,
Yeah. So
can we get
releasing this
can we
week.
get a red X across the first one there?
Yeah.
can we get a red X across the first two?
Yeah, actually, correct. That as well.
I want nothing to do with LeBron James. Nothing.
I agree.
I think he's a
Well,
pompous douche.
I know nothing about him except for he plays basketball. And I'm watching
Well, it
Space
doesn't
Jam
even seem
tomorrow
like he
night.
really wants to do that these days. He'd rather
No.
make movies.
And
Be famous.
yeah.
Well, I'm excited for Space Jam. It has nothing to do with LeBron James, but I love the first one, and my daughter does as well. And we're going to sit down and watch it tomorrow, and that excites me. So,
as long as you're doing it for free, I'm okay with it.
yeah,
Otherwise, Al couldn't. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
it's on HBO Max. So,
Yeah, as
Pick
long as
it
you're
up,
not
looks
like, yeah,
good.
that's gonna get me out of my house. I'd be like, what?
yeah.
So yeah, Pig. I liked the
I thought
trailer.
Pig. I thought it looked good. Now it's limited
I'm down to check
theatrical.
this one out.
So
It's
I'll
definitely not a
be
theater
interested.
trip, but I'm interested to see.
No,
James.
but yeah, I don't know anything. So what is the truffle thing? I don't understand. I've never heard of these pigs or boars or whatever that dig for truffles. That apparently I don't
Yeah.
what exactly. I know it's like a more of a delicacy type thing for high class
Truffles
restaurants.
are-
I know nothing. I know chocolate truffles, but I'm assuming this is not that.
And it's like, why are you searching for candy bars?
They're all wrapped underneath the. Somebody went around and
It's like, dude, just go to the candy store. There's plenty of truffles in there.
Is this a prequel to Willy Wonka? So no, truffles. I've personally never attempted to eat expensive truffles, but it's in the higher end restaurants. So this guy's like a crazy big
So it's like some kind of fungus.
truffle chef.
Truffles.
Yeah, it's like was it mushrooms kind of thing? So yeah.
Apparently, pigs can smell like 3 feet underground or something, and that's why they use them.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this was completely new to me, but the trailer did look cool, and it seemed like it wasn't a role that Nicolas Cage was just kind of showing up to do, and it felt like he was there to work. So,
well, one of the stories we were going to talk about earlier, he's not going to be Tiger King anymore. So I hope he comes out with some good movies. Maybe
it's a shame because that was some good casting.
I never got into that, so I don't know.
Well, you never watched it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't want to. You were like, you got to watch it. No, I was like,
It was fun. It's a fun time.
Ryan,
All right, now, Ryan, take us out.
is this my moment?
This is you.
Yeah,
Where's
This
my
is where
graphic?
everybody came for.
do it.
Where's my graphic?
Because they had me do it the last 2 times, and they were like, "Nope, bring Brian back." So you're
Bring
back.
Brian
Ryan
back.
Yeah, Brian.
If you
All
want
right.
if you want to watch Brandon host a show, go back and watch their Mortal Kombat show. That was funny to watch.
He did great on
thanks.
Capecast on Tuesday. Anyways, so here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the videos we're putting out. Al's working on a bunch of Criterion Corner stuff right now, and we have a weekly geek comic book show on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. So definitely check that out. We are on Instagram at CiNEMAChinePod, and we have a Patreon as well, and that's patreon.com/CiNEMAChinePod. Appreciate all the support we get there and here and wherever else that you find us.
Yes.
On the street, at work, in the record store.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit concert, maybe one day.
Yeah.
God willing.
Gas station Limp Bizkit concert.
My dream.
So I will say this. This is my parting note. On the opening of Criterion Corner, it says CiNEMAChine reluctantly presents Criterion Corner. Ryan and Brandon want nothing to do with this. And somebody saw that the other day and commented. They said, "That's hilarious, but why don't they want anything to do with it?" So I was like, you should
Kindly direct them to our Cape Cast show and just say, this is why.
So yeah, I thought it was funny. So anyway, well, guys and gals, I have a couple more haul videos coming up, and late in the month, I have a lot of fairly large YouTubers, Criterion heads. We're going to do a roundtable about Criterion movies, our hauls and everything. We're also going to just talk about the collection in general. And maybe if it goes over well, we might try to do this for every sale and just kind of do it. But it's been a lot of fun talking to the other folks out in the community. And there are a lot more people out there shopping for Criterion this go around. So it's very strange, but it's cool at the same time. So thanks everybody for tuning in to all of the Criterion stuff. It's been a lot of fun. And of course, make sure you're checking out Cape Cast and everything as well. And we're always here on Thursday nights now at 9:00 Eastern. So make
Got
sure you
my
bring your
bedtime
friends.
pushed back a half hour.
Yeah. Yeah. My allowance got docked, but my bedtime got pushed further up. So thank you, Nani. Thank you very much. But yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next week on the next CiNEMAChine.